Hello students, so here is the another video for your online class. Once again, I welcome you all to your class 11th for learning the subject commerce. Well, students, the topic that we will cover today is functions and importance of commerce from the chapter Classification of Business Activities. The exchange is a complex process beset with several types of hindrances. Commerce removes these hindrances. According to James Stephenson, commerce embraces all those activities which help to break the barriers between producers and consumers. It is the sum total of those processes which are engaged in the removal of hindrance of persons through trade, place, through transport, packing and insurance, and time through warehousing in the exchange, through banking and finance of commodities. Thus, the main functions of commerce is to remove the following hindrances. Now, we know that exchange is not an easy process. You have, in the process of exchanging, there has to be a place of trade. Your goods have to be protected, packed, and it has to be kept in storage warehouse. And so exchange is a complex process beset, filled with trouble or hindrances, and so the commerce removes these hindrances. Now we will see one by one how do the commerce removes the following hindrances. The first one is hindrance of person. This hindrance refers to the lack of contact between producers and consumers. Commerce removes this hindrance by means of trade. Now, hindrance of person, how will the producer and consumer contact with each other? How will they know about each other? This the commerce removes by the means of trade. Trade provides an organized market where the buyers and sellers can contact each other. It saves both producers and consumers from time-consuming and expensive exercise of locating each other. So, the commerce provides an organized market where the trading can be done. Now, in this modern way of doing business, you don't have to go from one village to another to find out your buyer, or the person does not have to go to one place to another who is ready to sell the goods, just like barter system. They had to move from one place to another. But now in this organized market, you can easily go online and you can click on the website of the particular product and you can find the seller, and the seller, by placing the product in the organized market, they can easily find their consumers who are willing to pay for the product and consume it. And so it is less time consuming and there is less exercise of locating or finding each other. The next one is hindrance of place. A major problem faced by producers is to send their goods to distant places without loss through theft, pilferage, damage, etc. Commerce solves the problem by means of transport, packing and insurance. Modern means of transport carry goods to far and off places quickly and safely. So now the another problem of the producer arises here is to transport their goods to the distant places without loss. Now the consumers for the producers are not only to the limited area, they might be in the far off area where the goods needs to be transported with safety without loss of theft, pilferage. Pilferage means when small quantity of good is been stolen from a big lot by maybe the workers, or like small quantity is been stolen, like coal. When the coal is been transported from one place to another, small quantity is been stolen, or from the package of clothes, a small lot of package of cloth has been stolen. So the commerce, it solves the problem by helping the producers to transport the goods, not only transport but packing and even the insurance for the safety of the goods that are being transported. Packing of goods helps to preserve their quality in transit and storage. Thus, transportation and packing is useful commercial activities. So, packing, it helps to preserve the quality in the time of transit, like airtight packing. Some of the product might get damaged if the packing is not done properly. So, when the goods are being transported or stored, the packing helps to preserve the quality, and thus transportation and packing is useful commercial activities. The next one is hindrance of time. In modern industry, goods are produced on large scale in anticipation of demand. There is usually a time gap between the production and consumption of goods. Therefore, it becomes necessary to store the goods until they are sold. So now in modern industry, the producers, they predict or they expect or anticipate the demand of certain goods, and so they produce the goods in large quantity or large scale. But there is a time gap between the production and the final consumption, and so the goods need to be stored until they are finally sold. This problem is solved by warehousing or storage. Warehouses provide suitable storage facilities to protect the goods from fire, rain, pest, etc. Warehousing is thus an integral part of commerce. So, the commerce solves it through warehousing or storage, and warehouse protects the goods from fire, pest or any other kind of damage. Hindrance of exchange. Buying and selling of goods between persons living in different places require a common medium of payment. Money serves as common medium of payment. However, convenient and safe means of payment are required to settle the transaction. Now, during the barter system, it was very difficult to understand what is the common way of doing. There was no true measurement. 1 kg of sugar can be exchanged with 1 liter of oil, or 1 kg of potato, or 1 kg of rice. But now there is a universally accepted medium of payment, what we call as money. And so it makes it more convenient and safe to do any settlement of any transaction. Banks help to remove this obstacle in the process of exchange by making and collecting payments on behalf of their clients. Businessmen can send money from one place to another in form of bank draft, check, etc. without facing any risk. So the banks, they help their client, both the consumers and the producers, to exchange by making payment and by collecting payment on behalf of their client. Now, you don't have to go face to face and pay to your seller, or the seller does not have to come to the buyer face to face and receive the payment. It is all can be done without face to face through the online banking, or online payment can be done, and the businessman can send or receive bank draft or check without facing any risk through the help of the bank. Hindrance of risk. During transportation and storage, there are several possibilities of loss or damage of goods. There also exist of theft, burglary, deterioration, fire, etc. So the goods needs to be transported and stored. Now, while the transportation is being done, there might be several loss or damage which the seller or the producer cannot predict from earlier. There can be a theft or a burglary. Burglary is when unlawfully a physical damage is been done to enter the shop or the business office, and the things are being destroyed, and even the loss can be through the deterioration. Now deterioration is when the quality reduces. So here, when the goods which are not being sold faster, their quality might get reduced, which might become a loss for the consumers and even for the producers, because now producers will not be able to sell it out to the consumers. These risks cause anxiety among businessmen and discourage them from investing money in business. So such kind of loss, which is very uncertain, might discourage the businessmen to invest more in their business. Insurance helps to remove the hindrance of risk by compensating businessmen for financial loss. So this hindrance of risk can be solved or removed with the help of insurance by giving compensation to the businessmen for any kind of loss that has been done and when the goods are being insured. Hindrance of knowledge. Often a producer or merchant finds it difficult to sell his goods and service because consumers are not aware of their benefits and uses. Now, when the product is been made by a producer, they need the product to get it known to the consumers, but many times the consumers might be very limited in number, because many of the consumers might not be aware about the benefits and uses of that product, and so it might be very difficult for the producer or merchant to sell the product. Advertising and sales promotion remove this hindrance by bringing goods and services to knowledge of consumers. Advertising also persuades people to buy the goods and services. So through advertising, through presenting their product, about the benefits and uses of the product through advertising, they can catch the consumers. And even through the door-to-door sales promotion, they can bring the goods to the knowledge of the consumers. And sometimes the advertising can persuade people to buy goods and services. Sometimes the advertising is so much exciting, or we can say it is so much attracting that even the product is not of any requirement, we still buy the product. Before the product is there in the market, we start demanding for the product. We see certain products and then we say that, oh, we have to buy it, it is such a nice product. By putting this cream, we can become younger, or there are many kind of products, cosmetic products, which are, the advertisement is made in such a way that it persuades or it forces the people to buy the goods and services. Next, we will see branches of commerce. Commercial activities may be classified into two broad categories. The first one is trade and the second one is aids to trade. So today we will just cover the first one, trade, and aids to trade we will go through in the next class. So let us start with the topic trade. Trade is the process of purchasing and procuring of goods and services with the object of selling them at a profit. So when trading is been done, purchasing and selling of goods, the main motive is to earn a profit. Trade means buying and selling of goods and services with the aim of earning profits. It involves the exchange of commodities for money or money's worth. Traders serve as a link between producers and consumers. They help in directing the flow of goods to the most profitable markets. They also bring about the equitable distribution of goods. Trade is the nucleus of commerce. Other parts of commerce such as transport, insurance, warehousing, banking and advertising revolve around the trade. So the trade is the main part, and the traders, they serve as a link between the producers and the consumers. Now we will see who are these traders. These traders, they help the goods to flow to the most profitable market, and they provide an equal distribution of goods, not only to one particular consumer the goods are been given, but there's an equal distribution. And so trade is been surrounded by the transport, insurance, warehousing, banking and advertising, etc. The objective of trade is to make goods and services available to those persons who need them and are able and willing to pay for them. So the objective of trade is to make the goods available to those persons who are willing and able to pay for the product. We have got producer who is linked to the consumers through the traders. Trade may be classified into home trade and foreign trade. Home trade. Home trade is also known as domestic trade or internal trade. It means buying and selling within geographical boundaries of the country. So by the name home trade, we have understood that it is all about the internal or inside the geographical boundary of your own country, that what we call as domestic or internal or home trade. Home trade may be further subdivided into wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade, it implies buying and selling of goods in large quantities. Goods are sold to industrial users or institutional buyers. Traders engaged in wholesale trade are called wholesalers. So the wholesalers, they buy goods in bulk in large quantity, and they sell in large quantity to the industrial users, like raw materials they sell in larger bulk, or to the institutional buyers, the buyers who further sell the goods or they require the goods in a larger quantity. So the traders who are engaged in buying large scale of goods or in bulk and selling it to their buyers, the traders who are engaged in wholesale trade are called as wholesalers. We have got the producers, and then from the producers the goods goes to the wholesalers, and from the wholesalers it goes to the retailers. So the wholesalers, we can say, is the link between the producers and the retailers. The retailers are the industrial users or the shopkeepers or the institutional buyers. A wholesaler buys goods in large quantities directly from the producers and sells them to other dealers. A wholesaler specializes in a limited variety of goods. A wholesaler has to keep a large stock of goods. He usually sells goods on credit. So the characteristics of the wholesaler is they buy in large quantity directly from the producer and sell to the other dealer. They buy from the producers the raw materials maybe and sell it to the industrial users, or they sell it to the big institutional buyers where they further sell the goods. And so the wholesaler, usually they specialize in limited variety of goods. They don't specialize in all type of goods. Maybe if they're specializing in only the supply of cold drinks, they will only do the supply of cold drinks. If they specialize in the supply of cloth material or dresses or clothes, they will supply only dresses or clothes. So they specialize only in a limited variety of goods, and usually they sell goods on credit. They provide credit to both the producers and the retailers. They provide credit to the producers to produce goods for them. They give them advance money so that the producers will give the product to this wholesaler who has given credit or advance money. And even they can sell the goods to the retailer on credit, which means the retailer does not have to do a quick payment. The wholesaler can give them time to do the payment of the product that the wholesaler has given to the or sold to the retailer. The next subdivision of home trade is retail trade. It involves buying and selling of goods in small quantities. Traders engaged in retail trade are called retailers. So we have the wholesaler and then the retailer, who is the link between the wholesalers and the consumers. A retailer buys goods from wholesaler and producers and sells them directly to the ultimate consumers. He serves a connecting link between wholesaler and consumers. He generally keeps wide variety of goods and maintain personal contacts with consumers. And so the retailer, they buy in small quantities from the wholesalers, or directly they can buy from the ultimate they can buy it from the producers and sell it to the ultimate consumers. And so they are the link between the wholesalers and the consumers. And the retailers, they keep a wide variety of goods and they have a close and a personal contact with their consumers. Foreign trade. Foreign trade is also known as external trade or international trade. It refers to buying and selling of goods between one or more countries. So, foreign trade we have understood by the word exchanging goods between one or more country, buying and selling goods external or to the international countries. Foreign trade provides a very wide market for the distribution of products. It enables a country to concentrate on the production of goods for which it is best suited. So, the foreign trade, when the goods are to be sold to the other countries, it increases the size of the market. Now, you can increase the number of your consumers when you distribute your goods to different countries, and depending on what is been demanded on that country, you can use the goods available in your country, and you can use the production of goods in your country which is best suited and demanded in other country. Every country can obtain the articles which it cannot profitably produce at home. So when there is a foreign trade and there are certain products which is not been demanded in your country, and maybe because of that you are not able to produce those kinds of goods, but every country, they can get profit by providing those types of goods which maybe are not demanded in the home country, but since it is demanded in the foreign country, so these goods can be produced and profit can be earned from the foreign trade. Foreign trade is of following types. Export. It implies the sale of goods to foreign countries. Example, India exports tea to United Kingdom. So you all know what is export, selling of goods to the foreign country, like our country exports tea to United Kingdom. Import trade. It refers to purchase of goods from countries. For example, India buys petrol from Iran. So when we purchase or buy goods from other countries, we call it as import. Entrepot trade. It means importing, buying goods from one country for the purpose of exporting or selling them to other country. For example, India imports certain goods from European countries and exports them to Nepal. It is also known as re-export. So import is buying or importing from other country and then exporting or selling it to another country, which is also known as re-export. So the commerce has been divided into two, trade and aids to trade. So today we have seen only the trade, and aids to trade we'll see in the next. So the trade has been subdivided into home trade, and we have the foreign trade. Now further, the home trade is divided into wholesale and retail, and foreign trade into import, export and intraport. And thank you for watching.